Honors Pre-Calculus Final Exam Review, number 23. This says, assume that the cities lie on the same north-south line and the radius of the Earth is 6,400 kilometers. That's a pretty good assumption since it is. Find the latitude of Winnipeg if Winnipeg and Austin, Texas, which is 30 degrees north, are 2,234 kilometers apart. So they've given us a distance, and they're asking us to find latitude, and we need to understand that latitude is an angle. And we also have a radius. So what we have is a distance, a radius, and an angle. So we have an S, an R, and a theta. So our S is the 2,234 kilometers. Our R is the radius of the Earth that is 6,400 kilometers. 6,400 kilometers. Now, what's confusing is they've given us a theta here, but this is not the theta that we're looking for. They gave us an angle, but we're supposed to find the latitude of Winnipeg. This is the latitude of Austin. So we are really looking for an angle, not the angle that they gave us, but the other angle. And it might help to look at the picture of what's going on here. So we'll draw a nice circle, and that's the Earth. This is the equator. So the North Pole is up here and the South Pole is down here. And if we look at our given information about Austin, it says Austin, Texas at 30 degrees north. So what that means is that from the center of the Earth, if I draw an angle out here to Austin, Texas, there's Austin. I'm going to go to the music festival there. And that is at 30 degrees north. The north just means that it's north of the equator. Now we don't know the latitude of Winnipeg. So Winnipeg is up here somewhere. It's way up in the Great White North, in Winnipeg. And we don't know the latitude of it. But it is important. We can't solve this problem without knowing that Winnipeg is north of Austin, because if it were south of Austin, that would change the problem. So we need to know in order to set it up that Winnipeg is north of Austin, and so I hope you all know that Canada is to the north of Texas and, in fact, the United States generally. So the theta that we are going to try and find, this theta that is the question, that's this theta right here, the angle between them. Because this distance S, the 2234, that's the distance between Winnipeg and Austin. So that's this S, which equals 2234. And our radius of the Earth is 6,400 kilometers. So this is really the S equals R theta problem that we're trying to solve here. So we can use, since we have S, R, and theta, we know we have to use some kind of a formula. The formula that matches those variables is S equals R theta. We can plug in our given information. S is 2234 kilometers. R is 6,400 kilometers. And theta is our unknown that we're trying to solve for. So now we're just going to solve this just like an equation. It's a nice pre-algebra problem now. So we divide both sides by 6,400 kilometers. Divided by 6,400 kilometers. Divide by 6,400 kilometers. And I'll need to do this on my calculator. So we will do 2234 divided by 6,400. And we get 0.3490625. So an important thing to know about this result, 0.3491, let's call it, 0.3491, is that because it came out of one of these formulas that requires radians, that's a radian measure angle. And that's what theta equals. So theta is 0.3491 radians. But we're trying to find a latitude, and you don't give latitudes in radians, you give them in degrees. So we need to convert our 0.3491 radians to degrees. So 0.3491 radians, I need to multiply by a fraction. I'm just going to think, I don't know whether it's pi over 180 or 180 over pi, but I know that since I'm trying to cancel the radians, I'm going to put the radians in the bottom and the degrees in the top. Then all I have to think is, what's radians and what's degrees? Well, pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. Now I know how the fraction goes. So now I'm ready to multiply this in my calculator. And I have 0.3491 times 180 divided by pi. And that equals 20.002. So let's just call that 20. It's 20 degrees. And then we have to remember what that means in terms of the problem. That's this theta here. This theta is 20 degrees. But the latitude of Winnipeg isn't 20 degrees because Winnipeg is north of Austin. And what we've done is, if we go to Austin, that's 30 degrees north, and we have to go 20 degrees more to get to Winnipeg. So hopefully it should be clear from that, that to get our latitude of Winnipeg is the 30 degrees to Austin plus the 20 more degrees that we have to go to get up to Winnipeg. And so that's 50 degrees, and that's our latitude of Winnipeg. And you can look that up on Wikipedia and check it to see if it's right.